Hello, welcome. This is Bartosz broadcasting for you from home. During these strange times, I'll be. I got an opportunity to play a game from Antler Studios, which is called Project Growth. I believe that's the correct spelling. And then I'm gonna be chatting to one of the team members, who's the producer, Emily. And I'm just gonna be playing the game, showing you how it is, and just enjoying the game with you guys in the chat. And I'll get my phone, I'll get a chat open for us as well, so I can keep track of anything you guys are saying. If you have any questions about the game development, we'll have producer at hand, so it would be quite nice to get that sort of first-hand response about steps that were taken to produce the game, perhaps any sort of behind the scenes things from developers are always nice to hear. Okay, let's start the chat with Emily, who's the producer. How is it for you as an indie developer? Harder, easier, or is it just the same these days?
I'd say you're at an advantage if you've worked from home before, because it gives you a bit more flexibility in what you can offer people. However, the one thing I've learned, I'm based in Hereford, which is in between sort of Birmingham and Cardiff, and I think a lot of games they do have regional hubs, so it's better if you place yourself in a hub where you know there's a lot of opportunities. Like in London, it's Guildford's got a lot of opportunities. Oxford's quite good. For me, it's Manchester's probably my nearest hub.
I see.
Cardiff. So I think there's a balance really, but you can make it work. There's loads of studios who do independent sort of remote working from home. So there are opportunities out there for sure.
I see. Awesome. Right. Without further ado, I think we'll jump into the game. Here is the thing. We are streaming from a laptop, right? So through the microphone, dear viewers, you might hear some jet engine sounds. So bear with us, but I guess since we're all in quarantine, we miss those sounds anyway, so yeah. We might be hearing some of that. Okay. Looking forward to it. I launched the game twice just to get it set up, and I'm excited to play it. Quite excited to play it. There we go. Project Groove. Let's see. Okay. If my amazing viewers, if our amazing viewers could let us know if the audio is fine, then we can jump right into the game. Right on the start, we got the menu, and we are greeted by the nice robot. I like how the game is stylized. I think it very much fits the exploration theme. I think it's quite nice.
Thank you. When we were first doing Tranzfuser, we actually had a completely different art style. It was quite realistic. And although everyone kind of liked it, it was also, you get compared to like AAA games, which you just can never really meet that standard as an indie team. So we went for a more stylized route, which is always what we sort of wanted to do. Completely transformed our game, just from the feel of it to actually solving puzzles. It makes communicating design 10 times.
I see.
So it was a really good choice from us.
I think certainly something that you said that I find very important as well is that as an indie developer, you always want to produce the best products, like sort of the end result of the AAA companies and what people are able to produce. And oftentimes we may think that we can do that, but there is very limited resources for indie developers.
Yeah.
So I think being able to actually find the solution around that, work around that to still produce an amazing game I think that's great. I think that's very good.
Yeah,
okay.
100%.
Right, I'm gonna start the game. We jump right into it. We got about an hour of the gameplay to play through, which you guys can play as well. If you go into Steam and you search Project Groove, it's there. You can download a demo and enjoy it. We got some backstory for the game. So the lore of the game is pretty much based on what men in pubs have said.
Yeah, we've got to keep it British, haven't we?
I always like
The engineer
humor in
pins
video games.
have left a service analysis for you. It will inform you about the immediate area. 1EP1N has left a sample from a new flora they located.
Marvellous. Would you kindly show me to that service analysis?
Ooh, and we are now gonna be following the robot. Does the robot have a name, or have I missed it?
It's Elpin.
Elpin.
So your main character is called Edric, and then you've got LP 1N for Elpin. Yeah, and it mentioned before. I don't know if you can read the text quick enough, but it's the main sort of antagonist in the game is Potentium, and they're the corporation who sent you here to the Forest of Dacrama.
Let's go take a look.
What was your inspiration for the? I'm not like the steampunky style, which I'm getting from the robot and this glove I'm seeing.
That makes me so happy that you say that, because for so long everyone thought our game was sci-fi when we've like gone through our design and we were like, oh, it's supposed to be steampunk, and we had to do so many like design reiterations. Why did we choose steampunk? I think, to be honest, the way we sort of first came up with Project Rove is that we really just had this cool idea for a single placeable platform, which is Elpin, and then we kind of, from there, we started to layer on other aspects of our game. So we sort of were thinking about different art styles, and we thought sci-fi was quite sort of common, especially with robot games. Oh yeah, by the way, you click on that saxophone to hear some
Greetings
Potentium.
from Potentium HQ, Mr. Tate. What a pleasure
So
it is
yeah,
to
we
be
just
working with you.
we sort of wanted to break the norm of that, I guess.
I am Lorna Casely
I
from
think the
Human
steampunk works
Resources.
very well.
But, you know, I think of it more as humans
It turned out
relating.
it was really difficult to make a
Because
robot
that's
seem
what HR
steampunky
is
and
really
not
all
sci-fi.
Trade secret for you.
Hello.
We redesigned Elpin. I think that's the third iteration of Elpin.
What was Elpin before?
He was bright yellow, which we loved. We absolutely adored him being bright yellow. But
Did he-
pardon?
So I'm just jokingly thinking, did anyone say to you that he might have looked like Bumblebee or something? Because you mentioned that you moved away from sci-fi, and you said he was bright yellow.
Yeah, exactly. That's what, like, we didn't realise how much that impacted it, but the second reiteration that we did, he still had that bright yellowness, and I think it was Tom who said it to us, our lead designer. He was like, I'm really sorry guys, but I think we're gonna have to get rid of the yellow, and it took me like a week to get over that.
Ah, yes. The exceedingly obvious glowing plant, you mean? Hey!
Oh, that's great. I like the sounds of jumping. They are very enthusiastic.
Hey!
Yeah, we got quite a lot of chuckles from people, and that every like playthrough
I can help here.
loves the sounds that you, except when he falls in.
Oh, you cut off there a bit. Sorry.
Oh, when I was watching sound effect.
I think Discord might be playing
A bit,
tricks on us. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, I think Discord is cutting you off sometimes.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. It's just that sometimes it seems to be
Hey!
disappearing.
Sorry, could be my Wi-Fi.
It's okay.
Why does the service analysis have the initials PB on them?
I'm not sure, Edric. Restricted files. Access denied. Formal request to Potentium HQ.
No, abort.
Sorry, you cut out as well.
It could be. let me just check something. So I think what's happening is the game is just the game is just quite demanding, and I think with the streaming and the game running, it seems to be giving the system quite the challenge.
Yeah.
But
So
what can we do?
it's a real shame. We recently optimized our game. It's like just crazy better, because that's one learning curve that we found with making a demo, is we sort of learned the process of optimization, but we can't share with you the new one because we have to share it with our Kickstarter backers only for now.
Oh, I see.
Do you need assistance?
No, I should be quite all right. Well, yes. Yes, sir.
So our main character seems to be, at least he sounds like an elderly person. Let's get this way.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, sorry, it's cut out. All I heard was elderly character, so I'm guessing
Edric.
you're talking about Edric.
Yes, I'm talking
Flora
about
and
Edric, yeah.
Magica often have
Yeah,
enchantments
he,
to protect themselves from being
when we were
destroyed.
first designing him,
Much
we
like our
really
fall,
liked the idea of
the protector
having this
rose
character
from
who
being
was
picked.
elderly, because it's not something that we usually saw in games, and we wanted him to be, smart, with it, intelligent, and we liked this idea of having a polar opposite of this old sort of man making potions with this steampunk chirpy robot.
I see. I think they make a very nice combo of characters.
Oh, thank you.
And also there is something about old voices in video games. To me, they make me think mysterious merchants in some dungeons, or very wise masters. Just like old voices in video games usually mean smart, smart and almighty characters,
Yeah. Yeah, that's the vibe we went
Please
for.
evacuate
Uh-oh.
the
And we-
platform. Could you move back a bit?
Really good voice actor called Gregory Cox, and he does the voice acting for Edric.
Yeah,
And he gave him a bit of a Yorkshire accent, which we loved as well, because before he didn't have so much of it.
I see.
These plants are noted for the restorative properties.
So, I see at the top, this is interesting. So there are plants which are actually regenerating my HP, which is, I think it's quite smart. I was previously looking at this plant and I was wondering why there are hearts coming out of it. Now I understand. It makes plenty of sense now.
I can't do it.
I think the
You're looking.
platforming aspect is quite smart. It's surprisingly intuitive to use as well.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah,
That's
I
great.
think I was wondering how it would work, and I actually have a question for you. How does it work? Are there certain points where the robot can go, or can it go anywhere in the game?
so I'll sort of go back from when we first did it. You could place the robot anywhere in the world. And our control scheme was completely different, and we liked the idea of it because it gave you ultimate freedom, but in the end people just didn't really know what to do, and it really damaged the gameplay experience. So we then made these things called Elkin points, which is like Harry's brain work, and basically they're sort of hotspots in the world where the robot will snap to,
I see.
There seems to be an unusually low friction
and
coefficient
it transforms
on that rock.
our mechanic, like our control. Before we had like 3 different steps to control it in the robot, whereas now you just do one command and you go somewhere.
I think that's much easier and makes for a much more fast-paced gameplay. Oh,
It took us a while to come to that conclusion though, because we did a few trade user, and best thing you can do, I think, as an indie is try and get free spots to these trade shows, because loads of trade shows will offer free spots to indie. And in terms of getting access to a player base and observing them and playtesting your build, important as a designer, because you can see in real time what people's reactions are to your game, what's not going right, what's going well, what design you need to sort of think of again.
Speaking of that, I don't mean to be picky,
Are you
but I
stuck?
managed to get myself stuck, I think. I'm gonna speedrun this. You'll see how great of a player I can be when required.
So yeah, anyone from Tranzfuser who's watched and you're getting upset with bugs and stuff like that, we're 2 years later and we still get annoying bugs. So I think that's just a feeling you got to get used to in the industry.
just bear with it, guys. Yeah, I think indie developers
The engineer pins
also
have left a service
for
analysis
sure,
for you.
are very
It will inform
passionate
you
about their
about the immediate area.
projects. And
One
Yeah.
I guess it
has left a
can
sample
be
from a
somewhat
new flora they
discouraging if there is a
located.
bug you cannot
Marvelous.
get over
Would you kindly show me
in
to
long
that
amounts of
service
long amounts of
analysis?
time. But yeah, sometimes there is that one nemesis of a project and it's just there with you until you manage to find a miracle solution, you know.
Yeah, we're still waiting on that solution. I know it drives Harry crazy.
You'll get it, Harry, I'm sure.
Let's go.
I have a feeling it's gonna be any day now. The fix is there.
So Harry says, we're trying to minimize the use of physics as it's the cause of most issues.
Oh, I see. I suppose physics leaves a lot of like many things up to random results, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
As in, if something can go anywhere, it might end up in places that glitch out the game or physics, or you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Just a lot of uncertainty if there is a lot of physics involved.
Strong alchemic readings.
But
Yeah,
then
Harry.
again, yeah, Harry is exactly.
Yes. The extremely obvious
But then again,
glowing plant, you mean?
It's great to have physics as well. So it's like,
Hey! Hi.
it's a high risk, high reward.
Could you do that platform umbrella thing for me?
You're
here?
quite good at speedrunning through this. You picked it up really quick.
Might need a
Yeah,
hand.
I play way too much video games, so.
I'm
Service
not very dexterous, so I actually kind of struggle with playing
I'm
some
not
aspects
sure.
of a game,
Restricted files.
which you get
Access
to right at the
denied.
end.
Formal
And
request
still to this point, I have not been able to complete it, and it's really like shameful for me.
I can't do it if you're looking.
I think it's fine though, because it gives your team sort of like a. Like
Please
there
stand
will be
on my head
players
and
who
escalate.
might struggle as well.
Yeah, to me, it makes me a great tester for the project.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
That's my
Please
excuse
evacuate
anyway.
platform
And
expanding
it seems to
area.
work.
Hey! Hi.
Okay. I'm not as good as I thought I was.
Hey!
Okay, I got it.
Hey!
Perfect. It's weird because I can see you do something, and I can tell like if it's not lined up properly or not, just
Oh,
from
I see.
the times I've played.
I suppose when you
Magica.
see the project so
Flora
many
and
times,
Magica
there is like
often have enchantments to
pixel
protect
difference to
themselves
left or
from
right,
being
and you can tell
destroyed.
that it's not gonna
Much
work.
like how a thorn
Yeah,
can
yeah.
protect a rose
And that's why
from being picked.
getting playtesting from others is so important, and it's really, unless you've got a publisher or something, that's really hard to get access to in our community. Anyone a sort of ace, I can't recommend getting a free demo out there like high enough, because it really makes a difference when it comes to getting feedback for your game.
I see. I almost died.
Hey! Hi.
Yeah, no, playtesting
Could you move
is
back a bit?
incredibly important, because at the end of the day, you need to know what works, what doesn't, and as a developer, sometimes you get so much into the project that you can't see the simple things that can be improved.
Yeah,
like-
exactly.
So how long
And it's-
sorry.
Oh, That's right, carry on.
I was just wondering, how long has it been since you got the help from Tranzfuser?
That was
These plants are noted
in
for their restorative
2018, I
properties.
think we were Tranzfuser. I'm pretty sure, yeah, for 2 years.
I see. In terms of development, like, how much did it speed up after you actually gone through the Tranzfuser
These
experience?
structures are an alchemic symbol for doors. They probably have a power source.
I would say
Seems like I
think
might be able to
with
move.
Tranzfuser, you're always at a sprinting pace because you've got this deadline. It's a competition, and it's like you need so much sort of stamina to get through it, which is a really good experience to go through, especially if you're going to end up doing crowdfunding. That's probably the next time we sort of experienced that same rush, although it was way more intense for me personally, just because crowdfunding is just an absolute roller coaster. But then the thing that sort of guides your pace in development really is money. So we were sort of at a constant, Harry says stay 1 meter away and interact, and then we.
Okay, I got it. So boulder, stay 1 meter away, interact with it, then move forward. It's something I'm not sure. It might help you with your. I can move. Look, I got through the the hardest part of the game so far. I guess some feedback from me is that I could push the boulder without actually pressing the button, which I think is what caused the bug for me to happen during my last playthrough.
Yeah, we used to do where you just push it, and then we got feedback, I think, saying that you should try and interact with it. So then we changed it to that, and I just think we kind of then ended up doing both. It was everyone's preference as well.
I'll leave
Though we
without
might change it because
Elpin.
it all depends on how we.
Both. It feels strange to have both options to me as a player, actually.
Yeah.
Because...
Oh no, Harry says he's changed it back now.
Oh. Well, Harry, you need to feed it back to the producer, you know.
It's funny because Harry's working on with crowdfunding, we did a Kickstarter demo as one of our rewards. So it's an extended release of the demo that we've already given out. And I haven't played any of it really yet because it's still waiting to be tested. So
I see.
I'm getting the build later today, and I'm so excited but so anxious because there's like loads of things that I've played. Yeah, really exciting. Really exciting. Our whole like tutorial level is different, and there's new puzzles, and I'm proper buzzed for it.
That's gonna be great. That's awesome.
But it's quite lucky because although a lot of the team work remotely, Harry and Tom are program. Harry and Tom is the designer. They both live together, so they constantly sort of work together with design feedback and get it to a really like polished high standard. And then I sort of come with a bit of an outsider's over. When it was the Kickstarter demo, I was testing it like every single build, which was like once every few days doing updates. So that was a bit different.
I see.
Let me know if you want. I don't want to tell you what to do, so let me know if you want me to give you a hint or anything.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So far, I seem to be progressing. I, however, might be lost for one of these plans.
Please evacuate the platform expanding area.
Oh, I'm in the robot.
Let me out the way
I've
before you
become the
open
robot
that.
No! It's so... I can feel the legs of the Edric, was it?
Yeah.
I feel his pain every time I fall.
Do you like the sound? Because it's one thing we've been thinking about changing. Love it. People just like actually makes them feel sick.
I'm not sure. I feel bad for the main character. I mean, you can always play around with it and try out something like a Roblox hit sound just for fun. No, but seriously, I think it's fine. It's something that I actually paid some attention to, but it's not something that I find annoying in a way.
So you can. You're not supposed to, but you can. I've seen people do it on playthroughs.
Does it go through the gap?
So you were heading for the right door, which is you can see is there. But you need to figure out how to make that red vine in the distance go green.
I have an idea. Harry, I might be. I hope I'm not breaking any stuff. Please forgive me.
That is, yeah, you're doing it the right way, or the intended right way. We were thinking about changing it so you can't act doing that puzzle, but Tom's really given different options to complete stuff. So we ended up leaving it.
Sorry, you cut off there quite a few times.
Please evacuate the platform expanding area.
Okay, sorry. I said we were thinking about sort of changing it so you can only complete this puzzle doing the way we first intended it. But our designer, Tom, is really passionate about letting the player try and have different ways the sort of same puzzle. So we kept it in there.
I'm not sure if this was ever intended, but after sort of what you described about like giving player ways of going through the puzzles, it made me think of Portal. And now that I think about it, this puzzle is almost like a steampunk twist on Portal kind of thing.
That makes me happy. That was one of my questions.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm lost. I don't have another plant.
That's okay. You were going the right. You were doing the right thing. So if you go back to where you crawled on, where you crouched. If you go back to that part, pretty sure that was the right way. And then you climb up.
Yeah, the doors aren't open though because only one plant is activated.
Oh yeah, the door is open. So because that's gone green, you now know that that door up there is open, which is what you needed to do to...
I can't do it if you're looking.
We're still working
Could you move
sort
back
of
a bit?
to players. So we've... The quest markers that you can see are really new for us. We never had any quest markers in the game at all.
I see.
So we're still tinkering around with that. It's you kind of with puzzle games. The one thing we've learned is that you really need to try and strike a balance between like aiding the player and then not spoon feeding, because you want the player to feel clever and you want to reward them for their like hard work.
Let me out the way.
But you don't want them to be stuck as well.
Thing.
So it's a tricky balance to get.
Yeah, certainly.
I can't do it if you're looking.
The door is open. Ah.
Please evacuate the platform
I
expanding
thought I
area.
need both of them active for the door to open. Oh, the door is open. Oh,
Yeah, so
I think this is the
back.
separate
Yeah,
door
it's-
from the other ones I was looking at.
Let me out the way before you
Not sure.
open that thing.
Oh, the door is open.
Yeah, so before there was a door there and you had to jump across it.
Oh, okay, now I understand. Because I completed the puzzle, but I wasn't sure how I accomplished the puzzle. But this plant right there is only for the rock door, the boulder.
Yeah. So
No, I got it.
one cable's for the door and the other's for the move.
Okay. Yeah, I have to carry this one up. One cable is for the door and the other for the moving platform. Yeah. It all makes sense now. Oh, it's upside down. This plant is doing some acrobatics.
Did the E-pin give a name to the flora?
001200.
No. Stop there. In the common tongue.
They call it Betsy.
I have absolutely no idea how a machine will come up with that. Nevertheless,
That's
Betsy
interesting. More I know, the steampunk machine is called the floor Betsy.
let me out the way before you open that thing.
I'm not sure if I mentioned, but I think that the steampunk theme very much suits exploration, which the game seems to be about. So I think that's quite spot on.
Yeah, and especially with our narratives all about, ironically, this day and age, it's all about a pandemic and finding a cure. And you go... yeah, it's crazy.
That's interesting.
And you go... this forest in the middle of nowhere to try and find the cure to this great rot. Yeah.
You picked quite the theme for your game.
I know. And honestly, our Kickstarter ended literally, I think it was like the day before the stock market crashed the first time. And we were like, oh my god, what's going on? And then like we didn't even realise the like link to our game, the narrative of the world. Sat back and we were like, oh crap, this is like 2020.
Pretty much.
Strange. The bottom of this key plant looks to be the same circumference as your head, L-pin.
Okay, I'm concerned about what the robot just said. Am I supposed to put my head in this? So, would you say that Tranzfuser helped you to prepare for the Kickstarter and stuff? Because if I'm not mistaken, you actually unfortunately weren't able to win it entirely.
Yeah, so we didn't win Tranzfuser, and at when you first, because we were like so anxious and we were so hopeful, and when you hear you don't win, you're just like, oh, gutted. But there's looking back on it, we totally understand why we didn't win, because there was so much of our game that we wanted to sort of show, which we didn't have the time to show. It wasn't like a full polished demo. So one thing I would say to any Tranzfuser people out there is to really not focus on the length of your game or anything like that, because especially at trade shows like EGX, I'm not sure if that's going on or not anymore for you guys, but don't worry about having like 15 minutes of play, because honestly people just want to sit down for about 5 minutes and go try another game.
That's very true.
Did it just crash?
It might have. I got some error from Unreal Engine, but that might be to do with the fact that we are actually running on 100% CPU capacity.
Oh god, sorry. Harry's saying, oh my god.
Harry, I'm so sorry. What can I say? I'm pushing the machine and your game to the limits.
Single tier. Well, I can talk to you more about crowdfunding then.
Go ahead.
So it kind of prepared us for that, in the sense of like, the whole thing with Tranzfuser is that you've got this deadline, you have to meet it, and you should really treat, if you're going for crowdfunding, you really got to treat that the same way, and it takes the same amount of toll. With crowdfunding, we were planning it from September, and we didn't launch until the end of January. So it's months and months of prep work. And there was, we sort of spoke to Kickstarter, the sort of head of games for Kickstarter. She got in contact with us, and she gave us loads of pointers, like apparently you never launch in November, December, and like mid-January you never launch, because people are spending their money on Christmas, they're spending their money on Thanksgiving. So we just chatted and contacted everyone that we could to try and get as much information as possible because it was completely new to us.
Yes.
And they say that you shouldn't,
Exceedingly obvious
if you're
glowing plan.
launching your Kickstarter, match your budget to how many followers you got. So, for instance, if I was going for 20k, I'd need at least 2,000 followers. So match that percentage. And stuff like that really helped us because we knew that we had to completely build our community up. And the main way we did that was with a demo. So getting our demo out there before launch was so important. And I guess it's the same that sort of mentality of a deadline is very similar to Tranzfuser. You know you've got this trade show, you know things are going to be judged at that point. And you've got, you know, months to prepare for that. So you've just got to give it everything you've got.
Well, yes, the umbrella thingy-majig.
I had a question, but
yeah, go.
I dove into the exploration, and I think the question has gone away. Yes. Did you use the sort of not only the experience, but sort of the Tranzfuser, perhaps work? As in, did you tell your supporters that you took part in Tranzfuser and like how it went, or did you just focus on
These plants are noted for the restorative properties.
building up on what you produced for Tranzfuser?
Yeah, I get you. No, we shouted and raved about Tranzfuser because for us, if you're a finalist, even if you don't win it, that's still a huge achievement. You've still been selected by your hub to present your work and be given an opportunity, and you win money for it as well. So, you know, being a finalist, a Tranzfuser finalist, is really, really important and really like a massive achievement for any sort of dev starting out. So we raved about that, and we also, the good thing about and pitch videos and bits and bobs like that. So for us, we could show all of our backers, hey, this is where we started off at, look at how our game was, and this is where we are now. Which,
that's what I call
for any
archaeology.
backers, they don't just want to back your project, but the studio that's running the project, and you really need to connect with people like that.
I see. No, it's fine. Listen, in every game, a player has to test if the lava actually kills you. That's what happened there.
So yeah, when we were doing our pitch, we showed them our original Tranzfuser that we pitched for, which was really cringe for me to look back on, but it makes a difference for people, for backers and bits. So yeah.
I think definitely something that I think is good from not just like a game design perspective, but like a just player's perspective. If I was sort of looking to support the game, I would be pleased to see not what's coming, but what was done and in what amount of time, because that gives you the idea of how of a pace at which the developers are producing work. So I think having that pitch from the Tranzfuser and then being able to show, since we did that pitch, this happened. I think that's very good to have.
Yeah, and for us it was important too because our changed so much visually. It looked like a completely really see the development process.
It's making me very curious to know what it used to look like. Do you have any? What's the source that perhaps viewers could go and check out what it used to be?
You can look at our crowdfunding page. I'll send it to.
You should be able to send it in the chat, actually.
Okay. Let me have a look. Do you want me to send it on Discord chat, or do you want me to send it in the Twitch chat?
Yeah, just Twitch chat. So people can just press on it. That would be ideal. Yeah, I can't make some jumps without Lippin, but I guess I just like to have his support.
I'm the same. I'm always cautious when I'm jumping. So on that, you can scroll down, and there was a video.
Oh, the link has been blocked. Okay, maybe Discord is better after all. I'll quickly paste it in the chat.
Let's see there.
Wonderful.
I'm trying to scroll down to see how far it is. So how it began is the bit where you can see us, and you can see our old pitch and the YouTube see us, what our game used to look like.
I see, guys. So through the link you can see the progress that was made by Antler
Did
Studios.
the
on
E-pin
Project
give a
Group.
name to the flora?
001200.
No.
How many?
001200.
How many of the
No,
voices
no,
in game
no.
were actually done
Stop
by
there. In the
your
common
development
tongue.
team,
They call
or
it
not?
Etsy.
I
So
have
none of
absolutely
we
no
all
idea
got voice
how a
actors for him.
machine can come up with that.
Mainly because
Let's
the
see
game
this will come.
focuses on two central characters and then one other character, Lorna, who's the antagonist. And having such a sort of a duo in the game where you don't really meet any other characters, you really need good quality voice acting.
Definitely.
So if we had hundreds of characters, then yeah, I don't think we would have done that.
Strange.
Originally,
The
when
bottom
we
of this
first
key plan
did voice
looks
actors,
to
we
be
got
the
some
same
people from our uni,
circumference as
and
your head, Elpin.
Elpin was actually voiced by a female, and it just sounded really weird, and it sounded a bit like a server bot, like a Amazon sort of Siri style thing, and it was just all wrong. And we decided to do a different sort of voice style, and yeah, it paid off paying voice actors for it, and it doesn't even cost too much either, because I think it was a few hours of work. Oh my god, you've done that! I love that.
Oh no. Okay.
That was a very good shot. So another way you can do that is if you place the platform above that lock, place the key on the platform on Elpin's head, and then retract Elpin, and it will fall into the lock. Sorry.
Okay, now you threw a
you'll
lot of
wait.
information on me that I'm trying to digest in my head what it will look like. But can I insert Elpin in the thing?
So you can, when you expand his platform, you could have expanded his platform above the lock, and then you could have dropped the key, like that, and then you could have dropped the key on his head, retract him, and the key will fall into the lock.
I see. I just went for a trick shot.
Yeah, it worked.
I'm a bit stuck here though, because I cannot actually. I need to get the key now. So.
Yes, so you need to get a key. There's a dispenser. Yeah, you can see it kind of on the wall. And then you just gotta get one from there.
Hey!
More I know. I didn't know it's actually a dispenser. I thought it just spawns one and then off you go. Good luck. Have fun.
Yeah, we might have to think about naming that when you first come across them, because I think that's one thing that people get a bit stuck on that I've noticed.
That's quite immersive. I wasn't expecting the Edric to be so dramatic about the jump.
Oh yeah, you might. Oh, I see it.
Elpin, find us a way out.
The only possible exit.
I'm just
is-
saying, I've seen some floating hands.
It's a mirage.
It's a mirage. It's from the water.
Totally
Edric didn't have enough oxygen.
Yeah.
That was close.
Edric, it seems whatever happened in that cave has set off a reaction. I'm detecting a distinct lack of barrier around the nearby flora.
Barrier schmarrier.
Barrier schmarrier. Okay, Edric.
So there's two ways you can get back to the plant. If it's all right, if you go the other way, then you came back from. So if you turn around again,
Hey! Hey!
as in turn, go back that way, and then you'll see the lock and key.
Which way? I'm confused because there is a delay on stream.
So if you face the lock and key,
Yes.
go towards the lock and key,
Yes.
and then take the key from the lock. If you pick it up and then turn back round, and you'll see something has happened. So face that way, then place it in again. No, sorry, the other one. That way, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, if you go that way, because it will give you some new gameplay to do.
Ooh, exciting.
Hey! Hey!
Almost had it.
Hey!
Oh, I see. Okay, now I'm beginning to understand the mechanic. I can sort of delay it if I actually put it on his head.
Yeah, exactly.
I got it now. I've done it properly now.
We're still working out a way to communicate that more to the player because no one really seems to get it the first time round. So if you've got any suggestions, please say, because we're constantly trying to figure out how to do it.
Oh, I'm getting a bunch of armadillos rolling at me. What is that?
It's a thorny boulder.
Oh, okay. Boulders, I learned from Harry in the chat, who's the programmer, I believe.
Hey!
Boulders mean bad, so I'll try to not do that.
Hey!
I feel like Indiana Jones.
Hey!
I love it.
Hey! Let me out the way.
I know the limits of Edric more and more.
Oh no.
You're on the right. You're on the right track with that.
Hey!
Just need to get the right position for Elpin.
Yeah. So if you do it, so what you have to do is you have to time it almost, not perfectly, but just think about the timing. So you cross Elpin over there, and then once you hit the next bit of grassy rock, you then place Elpin to the side of that ledge, so you can sidestep the boulder.
I see. You can float Elpin off to the side of the ledge. I see.
Yeah. What Harry says.
Oh, no, Elpin, no.
Hey!
This is like the one bit of game that gives me anxiety each time I do it.
Evacuate the platform expanding area.
Hey!
I'm doing it probably a very clunky way, but
But no, I like it.
it's getting the
I've
job done.
never done it that way, but I like it.
Oh,
Hey!
okay. I tanked the damage.
Edric,
Yes.
a Flora
Nice one.
Magica.
Very nice.
Flora Magica often have
What's Flora
enchantments to
Magica?
protect themselves from being
So Flora
destroyed.
Magica is a species of plant
Much like
where
how a
you
thorn
can make
protect
potions
a
with their
rose
produce.
from being picked.
So there's another layer to our game, which isn't in this demo, just because it's a lot of work, but it is going to be in the Kickstarter demo, where you can craft potions, and those potions will give you new abilities, which is like new mechanics.
I see.
So we give you a potion in this demo, but you can't craft a potion. That's the only thing that we haven't given the player to do.
Yes.
See. You mentioned like potions, plants.
See,
It's very
The bold is
natural. How was all of the
plant
lore
to
before you
protect
changed
itself.
to
A
steampunk theme
remarkably
from sci-fi?
sophisticated defense.
So it's strange. We always
I will
had
update Potentium immediately
the sort of
on return
loop
to the
of
base.
collect or discover plants, collect ingredients, craft potions. So that never changed, even when it sort of looked like sort of sci-fi.
Over here.
The only thing which did change was our plants looked very sci-fi. It looked like alien sort of style stuff.
I see.
Doing a plant which stands out, looks pretty, also tells the player to go over to that way so they don't miss it. Still looks natural. Doesn't look sci-fi. It was actually a really hard balance to do.
I can imagine. Reason why I was stepping on the steam that was coming out of the ground is because I was expected to be launched up in the air when I stood on that.
Well,
Perhaps something to think about.
Yeah, you could be on the right path, but you have to go back to the base and see what potion you collect.
Let's see. Ah, I see, okay. I just spoiled some stuff for me, I guess.
No, that's good. We wanted to sort of show that something's activated when you complete that, so it's good that you got that. If you try and fall in a deep part of water, I don't think you'll be damaged from memory.
Yeah, it seems like a puddle, this water around me, so I'm just gonna try
Let
to
me
climb
out the
down.
way before you walk.
Or if you get it, I'll be impressed.
Please evacuate the platform expanding area. I'm
Up we
calculating
go.
that the winch is over its weight capacity, Edric.
What are you suggesting?
Hubble Bubble made me think of Humble Bundle. was that the inspiration for the quest?
I think it comes from the Hubble Bubble
Edric,
Toil and
you have a
Trouble,
faxophone
and I
message
can't
from
remember what
Potentium.
that's from. Apparently, I can't remember. I want to say Roald Dahl, but I don't think it is. Hubble Bubble Toil and Trouble. God, where's that from? Yeah, if you go downstairs,
Time to go to the lab.
yes. So in the actual game release, the house is gone and we have an airship instead.
What a pleasure it is to be working with you.
Yeah, which is really
Let me
cool.
introduce
Really,
myself.
really cool.
I am Lorna
And
Casey
it feels
from
a lot
Human
better.
Resources.
If you turn
But,
back,
you know,
I don't know
I
if
think
you've
of it
got
more
it
as
or not.
humans relating.
And face the... Yeah, there it is.
Time to collect some green grapes. Hold ability. Shift or right mouse on keyboard. Left trigger on controller to use equipped potion. List ability is held down. The Bubble 8 brew will protect you from fall damage and will allow you to ride gazers. Ooh. So I knew the half of the ability, sort of. What it's gonna do. Oh, let's see if I can get a nice shot.
As I thought.
Oh, that's so enjoyable. The
Protective
sound of
sphere
landing, the
generated
bubbles
by the
make it
bubble
really seem
toilet
like
completely absorbed.
I'm not taking any
from
damage.
falling.
Yeah.
How far did you jump?
And it also makes the play like 10 times funner for me because if you do like fall off somewhere, it just speeds things up so much.
Yeah, certainly.
And you suddenly become like 10 times faster at things. It's just great. So you've got a compass at the top. And I don't know if you saw, but there should be, when you face the direction of your quest, yeah, it will come up.
I
Help
should just
him.
head for that.
Over here.
Ooh, here we go.
Hey. Hoi. Hey. Woo.
This must be one of the hardest parts of the game.
This is the bit I can never do, honestly. I have never managed to do it and it kills me.
I did it and I died.
Oh, you've done it! What the hell?
Oh no. I'm back. Okay, I got my potion. I thought I was back at the mountains for a second.
Get over here.
I can't believe you got that. That's so annoying for me. Like, second attempt and you do it.
Hey. Hey.
I keep the...
Yeah, you keep it, I think. So on the top right part of your screen, you've got your quest. So that's the last thing that you need to collect up there. So you had dangleberries, which you just collected, and the next one is jump.
Whoa.
If I keep them, that means, yeah, my quest is over there. Thank you for the help, Harry. Much appreciated. Who's out of your development team, who's the one person that breaks the game the most?
God, that's a tough one, actually. I have a habit of breaking just everything, so I would probably say me. But I don't know, Harry, who do you think breaks most stuff? The public. Yeah, but out of the development team. You, me, Tom, Harris. Who do you reckon? I want to say me, but I could be wrong. There could be loads of breaks behind the
There are
scenes.
geysers
I
ahead.
think Harry always
Stand back,
encounters
Eddie.
stuff, so in a way
Steam will
it
damage your
could be
skin.
him as well.
L pin. After. Whoa!
He
Definitely.
said definitely you.
Yeah.
To be fair, it makes sense. How your team is 3 people, correct?
So it fluctuates. Our core team there's 4 directors. So that's Harris, who's the art director, me, who's the producer, and I do business sort of side of things. Harry, programmer, Tom, lead designer. Harris is doing his masters though, so he hasn't really sort of been involved in a lot of development stuff for about a year or so. And we did have Lauren, really, really good community manager. But until we potentially get more funding, we can't keep her on as a contract worker.
I see.
So we had a lot of contract staff, from sort of voice actors to artists to 2D artists to Lauren as well. So it was sort of a mix. But there's 3 core members, me, Harry and Tom, who are still working on development.
I see. Yeah, I was just thinking about the question that I asked about who breaks the game the most. I suppose the people who have the hands-on the game the most, they know what works, what doesn't, so perhaps they know how not to break the game, so they'll might do it not as often.
Yeah, exactly. When I break it, I have to fix it.
I see. Less likely to break it because it has to be fixed after.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you can get someone, even if it's a friend or if it's someone on your team who doesn't have access to the build constantly, then it's a really good method to sort of refine your design, because fresh eyes gives a completely different perspective, and it's really worthwhile. We were really lucky in Tranzfuser. We had access to our uni lab still, and we did a lot of play testing with other students. So we were able to refine stuff quite easily.
Yeah, that must be very handy to be able to get the help from the students.
Yeah. And now we've got a good community built for us, that we just sort of rely on our backers and rely on our Discord members who really help with testing and giving us feedback. And I would say the one thing with feedback as well is try and note everything that you get fed back, because if loads of people are saying the same thing, it generally means that you've probably got an issue that you need to address.
I see.
But don't necessarily listen to every single thing or change every single thing, because like we've had people before, I remember one user, one gamer said that they loved our art style, but they think we should change the hand painted textures, which was like the core foundation of our art style. So you need to learn like what to listen to and what not to change, and it's a tricky balance to get.
When we were with UK Games Fund actually visiting Ant Workshop in the studio in Edinburgh, that was one of the things that Tony, I believe, I hope I'm not misspelling his name, mentioned, that you often have to find the balance between what the good feedback is and what is just a very subjective request, because that's how the player thinks it would be better, without having, sort of like a background in that sort of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And there's, even with feedback, there's going to be loads of people giving you sort of feedback about what you should be doing. That's subjective. But if you get, I don't know, 10 people who've said it out of 15 players, then you know that that's something that you probably need to address.
Yeah. Something I would like to address is this plant placement. It's a very sneaky but deadly thing to have.
Oh god, I've never seen that before. It sunk. Landslide in Dacrama.
This must be the hardest. We've been talking for about 20 minutes and I'm still on the same part. Please, bear with me.
If you want me to give you a hint, then let me know. But I don't want to like tell you what to do. But if you need a hint, I think you're on the right path.
When you feel like hint is absolutely necessary, go for it. I think I know where I'm going. It's just a matter of getting it.
Yeah, the execution. So one thing, if you walk in geyser, you'll float in that direction a bit more.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
It will like propel you in that.
Also,
yeah.
I get kind of blocked in this part. Just nitpicking, but it's to perfect your game.
No, it does. Honestly, it helps. And that's the one thing we like constantly tell all of our players, like just give us feedback because it really does help at the end of the day. We can't afford testers, so like it makes a world of difference to an indie dev. Oh yeah, Aris just said that. Walking to them. Oh, brave.
Hey!
Oh yeah, and if you're
That was
FPS
brave mixed with silly and lucky, so it worked.
That's the best kind though. If you see Elpin bug out, by the way, it's usually because of FPS.
I see.
If you see him like stutter or shake, his performance, which hopefully we've now sorted out.
Oh, I'm so glad I made that jump. Oh,
Oh my
yes,
God, you
thanks
good.
for playing, and I get a smile. Oh,
Well
that's a
done.
very satisfying ending to the demo as well, I must tell you, because it was one of the hardest puzzles I've did because of the, well, just what it takes to actually complete the gazers. Because when you're in the air, you end up somewhere, you know.
Yeah.
There's only so
No,
much
I know.
maneuvering you can do when you're flying about.
It's funny because when we were first doing the ending to our demo, we had it ending once you exit the caves and you like can see the plant and you've unlocked it, and we ended it there.
I was actually
And
thinking that it would end there. I thought that, yeah.
We got, because it just felt like the natural part to end it, but we got so much bad feedback about it. Everyone was gutted by the ending
Really?
because they felt like they had achieved something by doing all those puzzles, but they hadn't actually been given anything. So we kind of like didn't reward the player for their hard work.
Yeah, I can see that, because when I went into the cave, I knew that I'm doing all of this to unlock that other thing. But I suppose, because I didn't experience it, I didn't pay attention to it too much, but it might have been like discouraging to the player that I've done all of this and I get nothing for it.
Yeah, and we watched like Let's Plays and stuff like that, and you could just hear their reaction. Some people wouldn't even say that it sucked, but you could just, they were like, oh, okay. And I was like, oh God, that's not good. So we rewarded them with a potion that you can sort of play around with, which...
I forgot, I was thinking, what reward did I actually get? But it's the potion, of course. The idea of having like a bubble and then it makes the sound is very nice. And it's actually... You asked me about the sound of Edric's knees breaking apart, right? Whenever he jumps from too high up. I think the contrast of that and actually having the potion and just a nice soothing blub blub blub. I think it's good. It's a great reward for the player, I would say.
Oh, thank you. Okay, we'll keep it in. After that, you made my mind up.
Harry said in the chat, we might make the gazers more controlled. You could, or make the Elpin help Edric float in the air.
Oh my God, you're like unlocking some of our potential mechanics that you'll find later on in the game.
See, I'm a game design student, so I can't help it.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, no, it was great. It's a great game. I'm very much looking forward to development. How much changed from this build to the new one, or do you not know? Because you mentioned there is a newer build coming.
So the things that are changing for the new demo that we're going to release is that the tutorial all takes part in the airship. It's going to be more optimized. The players get to do potion crafting. So when you walked around before, or you sort of playing around, you would collect different plants, different rocks.
I wasn't sure what I need them for, but I was like, I need them for something.
Yeah, that's what everyone says. They're like, oh, I don't know why I'm collecting this, but I'm going to do it. But they actually help you make potions. They can transmute them into things and give them different effects. So anything that you find in the world will always relate back to potion crafting. And that's the main thing that's going to be changing in this next bit of our demo, is that we're actually going to give players the chance to build or to craft potions, which is a huge part of our gameplay. And it's always sort of taken the back seat because getting the feel of Elpin to be razor sharp was so important. And once we got to that stage, we just were like, right, we really need to do potion crafting now.
No, certainly. I'm very much looking forward to the game development. Do you have any hidden mechanics to Elpin that are not yet revealed? Or
Yes.
Ooh.
So
I thought so. I thought so, actually.
There's nothing that everything that Elpin can do as the robot is, he can do. However, potions can affect Elpin as well. So you'll have to experiment with the different potions you craft to see what happens to Elpin and how Elpin then changes the environment around him. So
I see.
yeah.
A random idea that just stumbled in my mind. Would you ever be able to throw Elpin around? I mean, he's a ball. I don't know. I was looking at the menu screen. I was just thinking, just throw him around.
So we haven't thought of anything to throw him around, but I can tell you there is one mechanic that I'll tell you about, because I think we mentioned it on our Kickstarter, I can't remember. But you can change the gravity of certain objects with Elpin, so he can push or pull things towards the robot and stuff.
I see.
That's one. Another one that we had on Kickstarter was Sun Elpin. So that's where you cast a potion onto Elpin and you can grow plant life towards him, like a sun, almost. So yeah, there's loads of different things. I can't say anymore, otherwise I'll get told off.
I got right because there were times when I used to watch certain shows with my partner, and then I would I would have never seen it, but I would end up spoiling it for myself because I would guess the ending. So I'm not gonna say what I wanted to say, but I have some idea for a mechanic, but I think you might have thought about it, so I'm not gonna say it on stream in case I actually reveal something.
Oh my god, you have to message me about it.
I will. Certainly.
We might try to feature it.
No, I thought of something, but after what you listed, and it's something along those lines, and like expanding from the ideas you listed. We got some very positive comments in the chat from Depsif. Love this guy, it's been amazing to see his progress. Great job. What can we look to see? What can we look to see it released and get our hands on it? When can we see it released and get our hands on it? Pretty much.
So thank you, by the way, for the progress. Yeah, it feels surreal because Project Rover has been my life for like 2-3 years now. So I kind of forget the process or the progress we've made sometimes. But the release date at the moment is August 2020. If we receive any additional funding, then that will probably be pushed back to 2021 at some point. But that's all to be confirmed, and we're just sort of taking one day at a time at the moment. But as it stands, it will be August 2020. So
that's this year. That's awesome. Very much looking forward to it.
Thank you. Scary, but awesome.
Yeah, it will get there. No, the game certainly is. It's quite impressive for an indie studio. It has that polish, which I very much like.
Oh, thank you.
Obviously, there is like plenty of space for development, but it's hard to expect around 5 or so people to do the work of 500 people. You know, it's a huge difference. I think, I'm not sure if it was a tutor or a developer, but someone was saying to me, or it might have been during like a lecture, that there was some studio in some game where there was literally a person assigned to model a cap for a game, game was huge, and there was just one person, and their job was to design a cap, model it, and texture it. So when one person can spend all of their time just working on that, obviously all of the stuff will be nice and shiny. But yeah, it's quite impressive to see that done just by a few people, certainly.
Thank you, because sometimes I forget about that, because I look at our game and I think, oh, we need to polish this and we need to polish that, and you really sort of are hard on yourselves, and I think we're all like that. Tom, Harry, and I are both the same with that. But like you said, as an indie studio, you end up doing so many more jobs than you would usually in a different studio. Like, I'm part-time lawyer, I feel like part-time marketing, part-time producer. Harry does writing as well as programming. Tom, level designer, but he also creates assets and he does animation. So you end up doing so many different roles within your team.
I mean, that's so much work. It's just once a person can focus on just one thing, it changes the quality exponentially, you know. But I'm sure the game will keep developing. You seem to have a very great team at your hands. Harry is gonna have a great evening tonight, trying to fix all the bugs I've discovered.
And it still crashes.
It's fine. It will get there. Something I learned over my while learning game design is that making a game that doesn't crash and without bugs is actually so difficult. Especially the more features you add, the more risks of bugs you have. On our last show where we streamed Tranzfuser, which you can watch on our YouTube, by the way, we Kieran, my colleague who usually works on the behind the scenes of our streams, he got a chance to play some of the games, and because he's a programmer, any game that was 3D, he sort of knew how to break them, which ended up happening quite often. And yeah, that was just like an example how easy it is to find an issue. I mean, it was done during a game jam, but still, it's hard to make every hitbox perfect, especially when the project is as large as the project drove.
Yeah, 100%. And I've only been to all of the trade shows I've been in. I think I've only not encountered a crash once, and that's like, oh god, I can't think of the top of my head how many trade shows I've gone to. But I was speaking to developers from Deliver Us the Moon, and they said, oh yeah, just get used to that, because that's never going to be a case where you don't get it until you've finally released your game and like things are ready to go and it's like completely packaged and polished. So like, okay, great, a few more years of this.
I mean, even one of the larger games that come from AAA studios, they still have bugs as well. It's it's hard to perfect everything because every player is different. Like, for example, I've gone through the boulder part in a way that you mentioned you haven't seen before. So all players might have a different take on things.
Yeah, exactly.
Harry said, things always work perfectly in unit testing, and then the moment everything comes together, all of a sudden boulders pose the character movement. Yeah, exactly. I was trying to mix the push and the interaction together, and I ended up freezing myself. When I loaded the checkpoint, at least the view of the angle changed, but I still couldn't move.
Yeah, it's like form of torture.
There was a bit of progress in terms of what I see as a player, but in terms of movement, I was still in the same place. Right. Maybe. I think we'll be wrapping up here.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. It's been my pleasure to talk to you. And thank you to everyone watching. Much appreciated. I hope everyone's doing well at home during these strange times. Stay strong. Any social media, where can people find you, find out more about your game? You can go ahead and flex.
Yeah, it's. I think everything is at Antler Studios. I think our Twitter might have an underscore though.
Okay? So those can be.
Can I? Oh, I
You
might
can
be able to
actually
type.
link it on Discord, and I'll paste it for the viewers.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Oh, or that works perfectly. That's perfect. Yeah. For updates on the game, just follow the guys on Twitter. Very much looking forward to the game. And yeah. In terms of thank you very much for talking to me today. And yeah, I was talking to Emily from Antler Studios. And that's us. That's us. Anyone who missed it, if you guys wanna show the video to your friends, etc. I'm not sure if you, Emily, or your team wants to show the footage to anyone. It should be on YouTube within a few days. So
Perfect.
that will be an option for you to share it about and stuff. Yeah, sorry, your link actually didn't go through. So is there any other links you want to send through? You can forward them on Discord and I'll paste them in. It seems that Twitch has their own protective barrier to prevent from inappropriate stuff, you know?
Yeah, no, I get you. And I think that's the only other social that we're pretty active on is our Discord.
Oh, I see. Okay. There we go. I think Discord is a great thing to have for indie developers as well, because it's not only sort of it allows you to communicate with the developers, but in such a quick pace. It's not like comments on social media. It's not email. It's just chatting away, you know. So it's if you guys want to chat to Emily, Tom, or Henry, or anyone else who's part of the team, because you said that it fluctuates, just go into their Discord and you'll have a chance to chat. Okay, time to finish up. Thank you very much, Emily. It was a pleasure to chat to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pleasure as well.
Thank you
Have
guys
a great
for
day.
watching.